again from Custom Home Builder Solutions, also known as CHS, a job costing, full accounting, and profit management software for the professional home builder. This video is a continuation in a little series of videos about handling credit card charges and credit card payments, etc. In our previous video, I was talking about how you set up a credit card vendor like Discover or American Express, and that the only GL account you can use when you actually select them as a vendor to post a bill is for when you are making a payment directly to the credit card company for maybe the balance of the statement or some amount of payment that you're making to the credit card company. And you are only allowed with that credit card vendor to use a GL account for the credit card payable so that the payment will lower the credit card payable amount. So when it comes to things like interest that the credit card charges, or maybe a membership fee, or various things that you are actually paying for something to that credit card company, you will need to set up some other vendors besides the one that is marked as the credit card vendor. So what I'm going to suggest for those credit card fees, etc., is that you set up a vendor, and let's go look here. We've already set ours up, I believe, called credit card fees or something like that. If I click the C here, we have one set up, I believe, for credit card fees, and we just use this vendor code. And if I edit it, take a look at this vendor, we have a default GL number attached to it that happens to be for credit card interest and fees, 8190 under our office expenses, that we do want to post our fees to that GL account. We don't want to post our fees we're paying and lower the credit card account somehow. So we want to increase the credit card account balance when we have credit card fees. And sorry about that message. Something my computer likes to do sometimes. So we have that default GL, and we put a default description of credit card fees here. We just basically set up this vendor because if we have multiple credit cards, we probably don't want a credit card fees -Discover 6 -MX, etc. You can indicate that in the description line when you're posting the bill to them and then marking it as paid with the credit card, like we were doing in the previous one. So if I do post new payables bill and I select credit card fees, I started typing a CR and found it, and I do a quick bill. Let's just kind of play like we got our statement on March 10th, which would probably be the date they also did the interest or the fees or whatever charge they're giving you. And I usually like to just use 6 digits for the date, which is probably the date of the credit card bill statement that you got. And here's my GL account for credit card interest and fees dropped in, and I'll indicate which card this is in my description. And let's just say, I don't know, they charge us $23.48 and some sort of fees or interest or something that we need to increase our credit card payable by, but we also need to recognize this expense. So when I submit it, I will select Post as Paid by Credit Card, and then I will select that Discover 6 credit card company, credit card vendor, and I will submit that. And I showed you previously how you can view the posted entries, and it shows how they're marked as paid. Let's go take a look at our credit card ledger right now for that Discover card after posting that one. And you'll see that the charge has gone into the credit card ledger for the Discover card, and that our balance is currently $11,445.67. Perhaps you got a statement and this matches it, so pretty much you're reconciled. I actually don't sit and do the reconciliations. I'll try later because I can tell. I take my statement, I make sure my entries are on it, and I go look and see if the balance is the same, and I'm done. But we'll see how you can do a little bit of reconciliation of that if you need to be doing that in a future video here in this string of videos. The other thing is Let's say you have a Lowe's credit card from Lowe's, and you go to Lowe's and you use it, etc. But you need to get the, excuse me, the cost posted as job costs, maybe because it's stuff from Lowe's, etc. So you need to have both the Lowe's credit card set up. Let's go back to our vendors list and let's click L. I've already done this. But notice how I have two vendors, one that's called Lowe's Charges and one that's called Lowe's Credit Card. If I look at the Lowe's Charges one, it's just like any other vendor in a way. And it has a default. We post our job costs to direct construction costs in this company because we're doing completed contract, etc. And we have that default in the custom homes, and we might even have a default, cost code for whatever we mostly buy there, but we don't in this case. So let's go ahead and give it, for some reason, let's say we mostly buy weather stripping there. I don't know. Let's just give it a default cost code just because we want to, and start the description with Lowe's that would drop in. Who knows, you might have a default cost code of hardware, but you can always change that cost code when you're entering a bill for it. But that's the basic Lowe's vendor, set up to go buy stuff from them, etc. Then what we have is a vendor that's a credit card vendor that's called Lowe's Card is what I used here. And I went and set up credit card payable - Lowe's on my chart of accounts, which was account number 2135. And you can see how, like in the earlier video, this one knows it's marked as a credit card vendor because I have on my chart of accounts 2135 marked as a credit card account, credit card payable Lowe's, and I selected this vendor to be the vendor associated with it, as I showed in the first video about how you would need to set that up. But this one's locked in so that when you actually do a payment to this credit card vendor, it's going to lower the credit card account. Let's go do one of those real quickly. So we'll do post new payables record, and when we're posting charges for things we bought at Lowe's, we need to do the Lowe's charges one that I set up, and I'll create a job related bill maybe, and we'll decide it's for weather stripping just because I made that a default account that's cost code that's dropped in now for us. You can see that. I'll just use that one, and I'll use our demo job. We do not have a budget or POs issued for this. It'll end up telling us that it's over, and we could do that today if we want. Let's play like we went to Lowe's today, and so I'll use just 6 digits for the date for my invoice number, and maybe I'll put weather stripping in my description also. That's what we bought, and let's just make that be 285.25, and then 8.25 sales tax was on it. So it's 308.78 total that will end up being on the Lowe's credit card. So I will submit that. See how this one is going to the GL 1430 when I submit it. It is letting me know that this is over budget for this cost code because we actually didn't budget for weather stripping. And I could pause, drill down on this as we've seen in other videos about accounts payable, and study what the overage is, look at the estimated cost of completion. All these things can be drilled down on, and I could pause, submit to do it. But that's not really what I'm talking about in this video, so I'll continue to submit it. We'll get that screen we've seen before. I'll post it as paid by a credit card. And the credit card that I'm going to use is the Lowe's credit card because they issued one to me, and I'll submit that. And I'll close that, and if I happen to go to my credit card ledgers again, I have a ledger running for Lowe's now, probably. Lowe's card, that was our first charge, I believe. And we're starting to run a ledger of what is owed to Lowe's based on charges that we've made. But the original entries, if you drill down, you can see them with a pencil edit icon. You can see how the original entries were posted to the GL account 1430 and then marked as paid by the credit card payable account 2135. And that it was given this little check number of CC, which lets you know this was paid by a credit card. But it could be a credit card issued by a company of the same names. Let's say I have one for Sears, and if I went and bought a refrigerator or something, I'd use a Sears charges vendor to record the refrigerator and wherever I needed to post it in my books, and then mark it as paid by a different vendor, which is the Sears credit card vendor. So that's how that works, how you would handle that type of thing, that are charges by basically that company that is the credit card company. So hopefully that helps, and thank you for watching.